Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of At the Buzzer Sports, where we talk all things basketball all the time. I am your host, John Drummond, and we all know coming into the 2024-2025 season, there was a lot of hot takes. There was a lot of takes that aged like milk. So in today's episode, we're going to be reacting to 2024-2025 NBA season takes that aged like milk. Let's get started.
Genie bust, and for the Lakers.
Let's get it.
Stop the madness. You will regret this. The idea and the notion about J.J. Redick being at the top of your list to be your head coach, Chris, if you got LeBron James and you got Anthony Davis and you really believe you have a chance, you can't put LeBron's podcast partner on his contemporary and ask him to guide this team to a championship.
Okay, so I wouldn't say... I have heard a lot of very interesting takes on J.J. Redick being a head coach. I don't think he was bad. I definitely think there was some things he could improve on, but for everybody to be talking like he was just going to shit the bed, I don't think that's true. I definitely think he's shown signs of becoming a really elite coach, but he's going to get better, in my opinion. Coming from a Lakers fan, there are some things that I did not love, but he is going to improve, and some of the things that I saw this season was really intriguing. So, again, let's just see what people have to say.
A lot of people don't like LeBron. And after LeBron and J.J. Redick introduced this podcast last spring, it was very easy to assume that LeGM worked his magic and got this man a job. This man quite literally had zero qualifications to land him this prestigious of a job. So, understandable. But if you remember last offseason, this narrative didn't really make too much sense because he was never really the first option. He was basically the last. The Lakers fired Darvin Ham in early May, and they went quite a while searching for a coach. They got denied by Dan Hurley. Reportedly, they wanted Ty Lue. They interviewed a few assistants, and all of these felt like the options before JJ. He was essentially the plan B, and understandably so. This move came with a lot of criticism.
Yeah, I think that's true as well. The Lakers were going out and interviewing a lot of different head coaches before just giving the job to JJ. I could understand if Darvin Ham got fired and a few days later JJ Redick was the head coach, but we were waiting on Dan Hurley. Like, that's who we were waiting on.
Skeptics, but it's safe to say now, this move has been a home run. This season, to me, it threw as much at a first-time head coach as you can possibly throw at one. Having to coach LeBron James, that's probably the hardest job in the sport. Having to implement his son and face the everyday critiques from the media, that's never happened before. Literally just having to coach the Lakers alone, that speaks for itself. Having to navigate through the bait we've ever seen, completely redirect.
He has a point, though. He has a point. Like, you don't just become the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers and then you're coaching LeBron James. Not only are you coaching LeBron James, you have to deal with his son. And I'm not saying deal with his son as in Bronny James is just a headache to deal with, but you also have to understand that LeBron has a son on the roster, and you're trying to develop him as well. Also, a top 5 player in the NBA just got traded halfway through the season to your team. Now you have to implement a new offense, a new defense on the fly mid-season. You don't have an off season to really like adjust for that. So again, I'm gonna ride for JJ Redick,
and the individual roles of the team. Those are two vastly different players. Having a significant trade that complemented the biggest trade not fall through. I mean, these are all real obstacles that a first-time head coach that's never really coached on any significant level had to face, and he prevailed. Austin Reeves, to me, he's the most improved player, legitimately turning into an all-star alongside
chat.
and LeBron.
Chat. Y'all like apple juice? Y'all like apple juice? Apple juice is like my favorite juice, bro. That and Kool-Aid and watermelon juice. Don't listen, chat. Listen. Let me tell you something. Just because I like watermelon juice, don't try and force that narrative on me. All right. It slipped out. I shouldn't even have told y'all, man. But let's get back to the video.
One of the toughest, tightest Western Conference that I've ever seen. The Lakers have the second best record in said conference. Look at where they were last year amongst the West. The Lakers have their second highest winning percentile in the last 10 years. And most importantly, And I know a lot of this has to do with Luka and Austin Reeves' evolution in JJ's system. LeBron finally looks like he can be 40. One of my favorite basketball analysts for the last 3 to 4 years turned into one of my favorite coaches.
What
Facts.
misconceptions or concerns about
I might go
you
watch
that
The
you've
Old
heard
Man and
in
the Three
last
right
few
now.
weeks are you the most
I might just
looking
watch
forward
old
to
JJ Redick
dispelling?
videos. Why not? Fuck it.
It's a valid question, and I've certainly heard everything. However, I don't really have a great answer for your question because I really don't give a fuck, like, honestly.
Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings. We've seen great.
So ball dominant, and he gonna get his shot, and he's not worried about anything else. And I actually think Anthony Edwards.
I'm so glad they brought. I'm so glad he put this one in the
because
video.
he's becoming out.
I'm so glad he put this one in the video. I'm so glad because that was, oh my God. So for those who don't know, they were on TNT saying that Anthony Edwards regressed. He regressed. That's what they were saying. They said he regressed. And it's because he's taken a lot more jump shots than he did last year, but he's shooting 40% on 10 threes a game. Like, he's legitimately one of the best pull-up shooters in the NBA, and he's growing as an off-ball player. Like, anyway, let's keep going.
Shooter.
Anthony Edwards, he was the player that people kind of got on earlier this year for shooting way too many threes. Even me, I didn't quite understand the drastic change because last year it was like 6 threes, and at the beginning of the year it went up to like 13. But I genuinely believe people got so used to seeing Ant dunk on people and have these explosive ass finishes to the basket like he did all last year that it became demoralizing to see him shoot so many threes. The funny part is, it wasn't even like he was missing. This man was
Right. Like, he was making them at a
shots he's
legendary
taking
clip.
and making is basically the math analytical part of the sport now. And basically every smart coach is dying by this logic. The absolute worst narrative I've seen surrounding this one specific topic with Ant was, oh, you want to see why the NBA ratings are so bad and why nobody watches the NBA no more? Well, the future face that gave us Michael Jordan-like dunks, he's shooting 15 threes a game. These are the players with the highest three-point percentiles in a single season while shooting 10 threes a night.
You literally
He's only
see
behind
Curry,
the two
Clay.
best shooters.
You literally see Curry, Clay, and Dame, and then Ant. Literally one of the greatest three-point shooting seasons in NBA history. And we're talking about he regressed.
Ever. Also, the impact this has had on his team has been very significant. Last year, even with Cat, who was a much more seamless fit alongside Ant, they didn't really shoot a lot of threes, and consequently, their offense was kind of mid. You can obviously see the difference this year. Also, Ant's playing beside a notorious ball-stopping Julius Randle, who obviously makes the spacing a lot worse. So him shooting more threes
didn't in the playoffs.
always made more sense.
Tell you
and
that.
he just played 79 games.
I actually think Anthony Edwards, in my opinion, has regressed. If you're guarding him, you want him shooting threes because if he's going to the basket, he's dunking on people, he's getting you in foul trouble, he's getting you into penalties sooner. When he shoots threes, even though he make them.
It did look
Facts.
like before the year that the Cavs Donovan Mitchell thing kind of plateaued. I know Darius Garland was basically hurt for the majority of all last year, but it looked like moving on from him might have been the next option. After watching them last playoffs, it just felt like all of their young players' growths got stunted by Donovan Mitchell's high usage. Yes, we know Donovan Mitchell can score his ass off.
I'm one of those guys that was saying that you should trade Darius Garland and Jared Allen. I'll stand on it.
But in the last 2 playoffs, this man was basically taking 22 shots a night, and it felt like everybody else was watching. But now with Kenny Atkinson, their team did hit a new level that I couldn't foresee. With the real defensive player of the year, I don't even know why this is a question. Their defense has always been great, top 5, top 10-ish all year. But offensively is where they really struggled last year, mainly because of injuries, I get it. And this year, they're first.
They were the second worst playoff offense in the NBA. Second worst. And that's filtering out before Donovan Mitchell went down.
If you look at the preseason odds, as far as win totals, the Cavs, they were only projected to win around 48 games. They're plus 16. If you look at the Ringers' bold predictions before this season even started, they had Jared Allen getting traded. I don't even think that was necessarily a bad take because it was logical to question, is Evan Mobley and Jared Allen a championship front court? But Evan's development through Kenny's system has allowed this to work effortlessly. The offense runs through Evan more often. Evan has the ball way more than he's ever had. Evan's been way more decisive. If you look at the highest net rating for Evan Mobley between everybody in that starting lineup, it's with Jared Allen. His development offensively and taking a little bit away from Donovan has made that entire offense lethal. And I'm very intrigued to see how that translates into the playoffs. I'm basically calling myself out with a lot of this video. I can't lie.
Yeah,
because before Jimmy Butler got
the take
traded
that I
to Golden
have,
State, I wasn't really.
Another take I had that was really bad this season. One of the takes I had before the season: trade Jared Allen and Darius Garland. Once again, I'll eat that. Another one: Jimmy Butler and the Warriors. I'll eat it. No problem.
Jimmy. Now, I always believed in the playoff Jimmy thing, and I've made plenty of videos about that. But how he departed from Miami, it just rubbed me the wrong way. When Golden State got Jimmy Butler, it felt to me at least like a desperate attempt to do anything. But, bro, I was so damn wrong. Obviously, this has been a talking point for everybody.
So was I.
But the facts are the facts. Since this trade even happened, they're only behind the 2 title favorites as far as their record. I know they lost against the Clippers, but everybody, and I mean the majority of the stars.
Watching this is kind of like, damn. I was cheering for the Clippers in this game because I didn't want to see the Warriors. When really, I should have been cheering for the Warriors because I'd rather see the Warriors more than the Timberwolves. For those who are first-time watchers, I am a Laker fan. And I would have much rather seen the Warriors than the Timberwolves. So that's fantastic.
They all played their asses off. But that game versus the Clippers was a perfect example as to why they made that trade happen. Stephen Curry kind of coasting in the first half, and Jimmy Butler carries them while he does that. And then in the second half, while Jimmy Butler kind of gets his rest, it's Stephen Curry time, and he had 18 points in the fourth quarter. Then the Memphis game, the play-in game, the game that actually mattered the most. Bad call on top of bad call, makeup calls, we all saw that. But this is exactly why they got Jimmy Butler. The last time Golden State made the playoffs, and I said this before, they got absolutely destroyed with free throws. Well, now they have Jimmy Butler, and this is simply what he does. If you look at the Warriors' free throw attempts pre-Jimmy Butler, they were the 4th worst. Since Jimmy Butler, they're the 3rd best. With a superstar like Stephen Curry, who's 37 years old and basically runs a marathon every single game to crack their offense open, it is crucial to have a guy like Jimmy give you constant stops and constant breathers. Also, we seen Stephen Curry can go to the bench.
Yeah, Steph with Jimmy looked like a top 5 player. He looked like a top 5 player. Top 7 at least.
I didn't quite see the vision at first, I won't lie. But these two should play together for the rest of their careers. They match perfectly, and Jimmy is a smart-ass player, so he fits seamlessly.
Need an ISO. Put the camera on me right now, please. Steve Ballmer and the Los Angeles Clippers should force Kawhi.
The Kawhi takes. The Kawhi takes. Before the season, I thought the Clippers weren't going to make the playoffs. Including a lot of other people. I didn't think the Clippers were going to make the playoffs. I thought they were going to make the play-in, I believe, but I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs.
I'm done. He needs to go home.
Hey, James, you're the problem. If this doesn't work this year in this system, then you're going to go and point fingers at everybody else, and you're going to go back home and you're going to start swiping right for another team, and there's not going to be anybody left. Because, James, you're not the beard, you're not the system, you're the problem.
I get it. The Clippers, even to me now, they still feel like one of the toughest teams to fully trust. James Harden's untrustworthy playoff history. Kawhi Leonard's untrustworthy health. I get it. It's extremely hard to fully buy in. But regardless of any of that, they literally went from a team that nobody believed in, cared about, put them in their championship, anything, to legitimately being a championship contender. The exact same article that talked about breaking up the Cavs, that same article had Kawhi Leonard possibly getting traded. After that Team USA thing, when Kawhi basically had to tap out for Derek White because he wasn't healthy enough, it was just hard to trust anything with Kawhi Leonard. He hasn't played the last 2 playoffs. questioning Kawhi's contract. That was very valid because he couldn't go in last year's playoffs and we had no idea what he actually had left. But Norman Powell did say something that felt like a jab at that specific time, but it proved to be 1,000% correct.
When you forgot guys' first loss at PG, can you talk about your first thoughts about how your role is expanding?
I saw it as addition by subtraction. You know, like I said, more guys get more opportunity, not only myself.
Kawhi's only played 37 games, and he needs somebody to carry the load while he's gone, and that's been James Harden. This season, James Harden, at around 35, I believe he is, he's played 79 games. This man is basically top 10 in
All NBA. All NBA. I had him on my All NBA team. I had him there.
every major category. That's because he plays. Kawhi at this stage, he needs that. They've now developed basically a star center with Zubac, who's developed significantly defensively, and him and James Harden seems to be the perfect marriage.
I had him on my all
How
defensive
exactly has
team.
that
I didn't have
benefited
him
the
on my all
Clippers?
NBA
Well,
team.
like
I
Norman
could definitely
Powell
understand
said,
him
you have
being an
less
all NBA
mouths
player, though.
to feed, less egos to feed. Two players having career years with Norman Powell and Zubac, and James Harden being that engine to keep everything afloat while Kawhi rests. Kawhi's back, and the man looks healthy. And how does the team look now with an actual point guard and complementary pieces? Like damn near the best team in the conference. In the last 21 games, with a healthy Kawhi Leonard, they've been the best team offensively, the best team defensively, and they're 18-3. Probably my favorite season from James Harden because he's being exactly what this team needs with no ego, no pride, no drama, straight hoops. If you guys like this video, let me know in the comment section.
Oh, shit. I just clicked on the wrong video. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for more reaction videos, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.